everyone, and welcome to the Azure Hybrid, Multicloud, and Edge Day, which we're proud to bring you in partnership with Intel. I'm Kathleen Mitford, Corporate Vice President of Azure Marketing, and I'm thrilled to be here with you as the host for the event. We have such an exciting day planned for you. We recognize that you have a broad digital estate that spans on-premises data centers, edge locations such as branch offices and factory floors, and multiple public clouds. Today, we'll be talking to customers who are using our technologies to address their hybrid deployment needs in multi-cloud and edge environments. We'll demo products and share some exciting new announcements, and most importantly, talk about how you can be successful using the cloud technologies across your digital estate. Also, be sure to check out all the great additional event content on the event platform. There are more demos, guided walkthroughs, and skilling opportunities. And all throughout the event, our team is standing by in the chat, ready to answer your questions on all things Azure Arc and Hybrid. Let's get started. Across every industry and geography, 93% of enterprises are committed to a hybrid cloud strategy. The top reasons and motivators for a hybrid cloud and edge deployment come from a recent Harris poll. A desire for the latest innovation from cloud providers, regulations to comply with, the need to support remote work, or simply a need to keep up with competition. Whatever your reason, it's clear that hybrid deployments are here to stay. You're going to run workloads in the cloud and outside of public cloud data centers, but you still want access to all the benefits the cloud provides. Today, technology environments continue to grow in complexity. It's incredibly difficult to build new solutions while maintaining the sprawl of existing systems. Applications are running across a multitude of locations: data centers, hosting environments, branch offices, edge locations, and cloud, all introducing their own overhead. And the ever-changing and organic nature of IT investments to manage the distributed digital estate has led to incompatible tools and processes. All this adds up, creating silos across people, processes, and tools. I know I've experienced this in the past. It's incredibly difficult to transform and innovate. I had a CIO share with me that their investments were so fractured, it made their culture unable to innovate. In fact, the team works incredibly hard just to maintain the status quo. We want to help you invest in solutions to address this. Solutions that bring your organization together. By choosing Microsoft, you can help your IT, developer, data, and business teams start to transform their working styles and delivery. We help remove technology limitations so you can make technology decisions based on genuine business outcomes. You can change your culture when the people, processes, and tools work towards a common goal. We're in the business of helping you get there. Let's talk about how to make that happen. Some of you want to be fully in the cloud, but have legacy apps you can't containerize and need to keep on premises. It can take time to either retire or re-architect these. Others have already made investments in existing hardware, and cost becomes a factor. So you're looking holistically at your environment to see where you can gain efficiency and lower cost from both the infrastructure itself and the business transformation it enables. We fundamentally believe hybrid has introduced a new set of requirements for the public cloud that push the way we think about cloud technology. It's not just hosting in hyperscale data centers. It's a platform that extends all the way to the edge, to anywhere that cloud-born innovation is needed, to the factory floor or even to a farmer's field. I often hear that you want the new innovation and agility that the cloud enables, but you need to access it at your own pace. This is where Azure comes in. Our mission is for Azure to be the world's computer. We see our role as a software platform that you can invest in, knowing the technologies and practices you build can help extend your business. To tell you more about the solutions we're building, I'd like to invite Erin, Corporate Vice President of Azure Core Product and Design. Hi, Erin. Thanks for being here.
Kathleen, it's great to be here with you. And thank you to everyone for tuning into the event. Like Kathleen just shared, Azure's mission is to be the world's computer. That's why we're constantly growing Azure globally by investing in data centers and networking and cloud services. We have over 160 physical data centers arranged into 60 regions, more than AWS and GCP combined, and linked by one of the largest interconnected networks on the planet. Now, with this connectivity, we're providing unprecedented scalability, low latency, and high availability. We're incredibly proud and humbled that more than 95% of Fortune 500 companies trust their workloads to Azure. And we take that immense responsibility seriously. It's why we're so deeply committed to ensuring that Azure is the best cloud to support your ambitions. And in talking with you and other customers over the last year, I've seen a shift in the way you're thinking about applications and workloads. Many of you are thinking collectively about your hybrid edge and IoT strategies, not separately. And the success you're having with the cloud is leading you to think about how you can use public cloud to innovate everywhere. Now, while every business has a different growth and innovation path, there are common interests and concerns that span from supporting new product innovation all the way to managing risk and how the cloud can help with all of this. Now, for instance, many leaders are excited to evolve products using as-a-service business models. Yet others want to use all of their data wherever it is and turn it into new products and services. On the application development side, many of you want to speed innovation, regardless of where your apps run, on-prem, multi-cloud, or edge. And nearly everyone wants to tap into AI or IoT to just improve operations. Now, lastly, every conversation that I have includes a discussion on how cloud can help meet the evolving regulatory and compliance requirements and manage risk. CIOs and CISOs especially want to know that their risks are managed by securing and governing their entire digital estate, not just the cloud resources. And our job is to make all of this simple for you, so you can take advantage of the latest technologies as well as infrastructure investments that you've already made. Now, the cloud is both an architecture and an operational model. Azure is a resilient, scalable platform for your workloads. It's new services to build applications, all topped with a set of management and operations solutions. Now, many of you know I started in Windows, and one of our core promises across the desktop and server ecosystem was and continues to be that no matter what, if you write an app to the Windows platform, it will run on any system, any hardware that runs Windows on it. Well, our goal is the same with Azure. As we evolve the platform, we're enabling that same operational model from cloud to edge. And the promise over time evolves not only to be write once, run anywhere, but write once, run anywhere, and manage and govern consistently. As a developer, you can focus on building and shipping applications with an end-to-end development experience. And IT teams have the tools they need to manage the applications and databases at scale across cloud, multi-cloud, and edge to meet those regulatory and compliance standards. We wanted to bring the value of cloud operations and architecture to any infrastructure, which makes your cloud-to-edge ecosystem simple, flexible, and secure. And that is why we built Azure Arc. Azure Arc is a bridge that extends the Azure platform, so you can build applications and services with the flexibility to run across data centers, edge, and multi-cloud environments. And Azure Arc provides a consistent development, operations, and security model for both new and existing applications. You can use the same tools, the same security and governance technologies to create and manage application resources. And just like in our data centers, a subset of Azure services for application, data, and AI are there to use both on new and existing hardware, virtualization, and Kubernetes platforms, IoT devices, and integrated systems. We're committed to enabling companies to grow and transform themselves through technology, paving the way for rapid innovation through applications and cost savings across their businesses, independent of who built or owns the facilities and hardware. Now, to tell us more about Azure Arc, I'll hand it over to Kathleen and Rowan.
Thanks, Erin. Now I'd like to welcome Rowan Sohn, Corporate Vice President for Azure Edge and Platform. Rowan, thanks so much for being here.
Kathleen, thank you so much for having me. This is my second annual Hybrid Multi-Cloud and Edge Day.
Erin just told us all about how we're making Azure the best platform for cloud innovation. And now it's exciting to see how those Azure innovations can be brought to edge locations. really anywhere we can imagine.
It really is. We are seeing this next generation of computing where you need all the innovation, practices, and speed that the cloud offers, but coupled with the flexibility to run the applications and the data where you need it to be.
Exactly. And that's where Azure Arc comes in. Rowan, I'm going to head out now, but why don't you tell us about what this means for the next 5 years of computing at the edge?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Our team has been hard at work, talking with customers, listening to your feedback, and breaking new ground to help you take advantage of the opportunity at the edge. As we work with customers, we see a wide range of ways they want to architect their applications, as well as places where they want those applications to run, each with their own unique characteristics and requirements. For some customers, the issue is scale. They might need the hyperscale of our Azure regions. Other customers may have latency requirements for workloads that have to run in a factory floor. Others might need to meet data sovereignty needs through their existing data centers. That's why we're working to bring the Azure platform to all of those places in a way that can meet a broad range of requirements and infrastructure for those applications to run on. Azure Arc helps you do this by delivering 4 key capabilities. First, develop cloud native, operate anywhere. Cloud innovation has radically changed the way applications are designed, built, and run. For an application to be truly portable, it needs more than just shipping and packaging code. You need the cloud services, the container infrastructure, as well as the DevOps practices and tooling to deploy, secure, and operate it. As a financial institution in the EU, Millennium needed a way to deliver innovative banking solutions faster without sacrificing security and compliance. 5 years ago, Millennium first dipped into the cloud by running VMs in Azure. Today, they get more features, flexibility, and scalability because they re-engineered to run their applications on Kubernetes. As part of a multi-cloud strategy to ensure compliance and high availability, Millennium cast a wide net to search for a cloud-native application solution that can operate on-premises in AWS, GCP, and Azure. They confidently chose Azure Arc. Why? Because to meet their data residency objectives, they are now deploying their applications to run on local Kubernetes clusters through Azure Arc. With Azure Arc, Millennium can deploy and manage applications on Kubernetes clusters around thousands of on-premises or multi-cloud locations. And finally, Azure Arc helps to reduce errors and enforce configuration by ensuring consistent container infrastructures across all of those environments, and by integrating with source code, controls, and leveraging policy. And through Azure Arc, we deliver a comprehensive set of tools and services that help developers to build, deploy, and manage your next generation of applications. Today, you can organize and view all your clusters from Azure, configure them uniformly, and basically have a zero-touch configuration. With GitOps, you can track the desired state of your Kubernetes environments and use Git to automate deployments and easily find faults. You can save time by leveraging purpose-built Azure application services and easily instrument Azure monitoring, telemetry, and security services into apps to operate the same way anywhere that app runs. Open Service Mesh now works anywhere with Azure Arc. This adds even more options to manage, secure, and get out-of-the-box observability features for your microservice environments. Now let's talk about harnessing insights from edge to cloud. Organizations are excited about the opportunities to extend Azure innovation and cloud benefits across the IT estate for many different reasons. Some organizations want to capture operational insights and new opportunities by innovating with legacy application and data in their hybrid infrastructure. Others want to use AI and machine learning to accelerate insights and shift from reactive to proactive decision-making. And some are generating fresh business and operational insights by implementing IoT solutions that unlock and help make sense of the signals and data from the physical world. For all of these scenarios, Azure Arc is built to help you harness data insights from cloud to edge. Let's take a look at one of our newest customer stories with John Deere. The iconic green and yellow John Deere tractors are a very familiar sight in fields around the world. With a well-stocked technology portfolio that spans cloud platforms, on-premises data centers, and edge devices at the factories, John Deere's modernization strategy makes the most of its assets while cultivating a path for the future. Farming faces huge challenges, from volatile weather, weeds, pests, and honestly, diminishing resources. For the last decade, John Deere has helped customers collect and use data related to many aspects of their work, from weather and soil conditions to the equipment lifecycle. Together with Azure Arc-enabled SQL-managed instance, John Deere helps connect the dots across all these environments and puts the power of the cloud to work in the company's existing infrastructure. The result? A unified view of operations across platforms that pivots on Azure Arc, helping John Deere to optimize manufacturing operations. Today, we're announcing 2 new services to expand the Azure Arc data and insights portfolio. First, the business-critical tier of Azure Arc-enabled SQL MI is now generally available. The business-critical tier is built for mission-critical workloads requiring the most demanding performance, high availability, and security. You will hear more about these new capabilities later in the show. Second, we are also bringing Azure Machine Learning services right to your factory floor, operating room, or retail store, right where the data is created. Azure Arc-enabled machine learning is generally available, allowing you to perform training, inferencing, and hybrid machine learning operations right where your data lives, meaning it can work on your existing hardware and IoT devices today. The advances in cloud and edge technologies are enabling organizations to reinvent and scale their businesses in ways that we could only imagine just a few years ago. Many customers have made investments in hundreds or even thousands of applications. Yet these applications are distributed across multiple data centers, branch offices, edge locations, and cloud platforms. And new applications are being built leveraging cloud-native technologies that are changing at an incredible pace. Azure Arc enables you to use the security and governance tools we use in Azure on a wide range of resources, such as Windows, Linux, Kubernetes, and SQL Server. Let's look at Greggs, a bakery and coffee shop in the UK operating since the 1930s with over 2,200 locations. The company needed a tool set that could consolidate management of a hybrid environment accumulated over the course of numerous acquisitions over its 80-year history. Greggs needed visibility across their entire estate, and they couldn't keep using separate teams to support their on-premises and cloud platforms without a clear picture of what was happening. Greggs rolled out Microsoft Defender for cloud and log analytics across their entire server estate using Azure Arc. They are standardizing their IT inventory management through Azure organizational tools like resource groups, tags, and search. Once their inventory is established, Greggs built out a governance and compliance strategy that leverages Azure Policy and Azure Update Management to provide critical patches to their servers. Now with this interconnected bridge between their Azure environment and their on-premises estate, Greggs improved the collaboration between their IT and their developer team. They empowered developers with self-service access to compute resources on-premises from Azure Arc, enabled with VMware vSphere. They're allowing devs to spin up compute locally, but all with the security and governance policies that are built into the compute with infrastructure as code. Just as Greggs did through Azure Arc, you have access today to a comprehensive Azure-consistent set of tools and services to secure and manage resources and data anywhere. You can use Microsoft Defender for Cloud to unify your security management and advanced threat protection across hybrid workloads. You can use Azure Policy as an always-on, globally available compliance engine so you can implement continuous audit of all of your systems. You can also use Azure Monitor for visibility and as a resource manager to organize and control your workloads. Microsoft Purview is a united data governance solution that helps you create a holistic, up-to-date map of your data landscape. And finally, Azure Auto Manage is in preview for Azure Arc-enabled services. Finally, let's talk about the flexibility for regulatory and connectivity needs. There are two motivators that drive many hybrid needs: connectivity requirements and regulations. For example, a retailer needs to ensure that their point-of-sale system can operate disconnected so they can continue to process purchases if the internet services are down. Or a hospital that simultaneously needs cloud-powered medical imaging processing analysis, but also needs to meet data residency requirements of their patients' medical data. Whatever the connectivity required or regulatory need, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to address those concerns when planning how to build your hybrid deployments and environments. Von Havermet. The firm has been a trusted, dependable partner to its clients for the past 80 years, reliably advising and guiding them through accounting, tax, legal, and HR issues. With a plan in place to better serve their customers using technology, they needed a balance between migrating to cloud and keeping sensitive applications and data on premises. They chose to invest in a cloud solution that offers scalable compute and storage by adopting Azure Stack HCI, so they could modernize architecture and run virtualized production workloads with a cloud-connected management plane from Azure Arc. To meet data sovereignty requirements, Von Havermet runs their Kubernetes clusters in Azure with AKS and runs its ERP applications on premises with Azure Stack HCI. Using Azure Stack HCI, Von Havermet deployed a 2-node cluster on premises that gives them greater capacity and a backup and disaster recovery plan for their customers who need to access investment documents and sensitive data and ensure the data is compliant with their regulations. Each of these 4 customers I've spoken about today are unique in their businesses, but unified because they all chose Azure Arc. Simply put, we meet you where you are. We won't force you into containers or require you to buy our hardware. Azure Arc is an extension of Azure. That's why we've put a priority on enabling a wide variety of infrastructure choices for your hybrid cloud plan and architecture. We are working to ensure that we have a wide range of systems and services that will fit their needs. We have 60 Azure regions and over 91 compliance offering certifications for you to take advantage of with your applications. For low latency applications with advanced networking, some companies will look to 5G private MEC solutions. Azure's private MEC combines network functions, applications, and edge-optimized Azure services to deliver high performance and ultra-low latency. If you want to manage your own infrastructure, you can use Azure Stack HCI. Azure Stack HCI is Azure Arc enabled out of the box. That means that you can compute where you need it and manage it all from Azure. The new single-node Azure Stack HCI offers you the flexibility to deploy Azure Stack HCI in smaller spaces and with less processing needs. So if you have a physical space constraint or you don't require built-in resiliency, we now have an option for you. Our history in both productivity and data center innovation are unique among cloud providers. Microsoft is at our best when our platforms fuel the growth of others, and I'm thrilled to see how energized the ecosystem is to evolve with us. With that, I'm now excited to share with you a new video highlighting Azure Arc.
The world today is distributed. People, businesses, hospitals, factories, stores. Yet what we do and how we do it is as connected as ever. We're standing at the forefront of this new generation where computing, services, and applications can't be limited to a physical location. Developers, data scientists, and operations teams need the flexibility to innovate anywhere without constraints, using technology in data centers, multiple clouds, and at the edge. You need the right technology provider to empower your teams. Azure Arc is Microsoft's solution for you to innovate anywhere. Azure Arc is a bridge that extends the Azure platform so customers can build applications and services with the flexibility to run across data centers, edge, and multi-cloud environments. Azure Arc provides a consistent development, operations, and security model for both new and existing applications. Azure Arc runs on both new and existing hardware, virtualization and Kubernetes platforms, IoT devices, and integrated systems. You can develop cloud native and operate applications anywhere on any Kubernetes platform using familiar tools and Azure services. Azure Arc also brings data services from Azure, like SQL, PostgreSQL, and machine learning, so you can harness data insights from edge to cloud with an end-to-end solution from local data collection, storage, and real-time analysis. And with distributed workloads, Azure Arc centrally secures and governs across your environments from a single control plane. Your operations team will have visibility for Windows, Linux, SQL, Kubernetes clusters, and app services to establish threat detection, response, and compliance. If you need flexibility for regulatory and connectivity needs, Azure Arc meets residency and sovereignty requirements with infrastructure options, edge computing for low-latency applications, and fully or intermittently disconnected scenarios. Join the thousands of customers already using Azure Arc to build faster, be more secure, and innovate anywhere.